So, what questions do you guys have about masculine and feminine? What questions do you have about the balance of them, or how to achieve it, or how to balance? Awesome. What do you want to learn about the masculine and feminine? What are you most interested in about those two? What do you want to talk about them in context to, right? So you kind of, with masculine and feminine, it's a balance in life. It's balance no matter what, right? It's balance between light and dark, like Star Wars. You guys get me in my loungewear today. So it's balancing. Masculine and feminine we're going to talk about how to balance them today. Well, not even how to balance them really, but the importance of balancing them and the importance of understanding what is masculine and what is feminine, and what they represent and how they represent things that we all have. So not just men and women, right? Masculine and feminine are a part of everyone. We have some men that are more feminine, divine feminine in their core. And then we have some men that are divine masculine in their core. And then the same thing with women, right? We have women who are divine feminine, divine masculine in their core. Most women are feminine in their core. Most men are masculine in their core. I'm like, who's here? I don't see anybody. Well, love you for watching. See the eyeballs. Drop your comments, any questions that y'all have. If you're watching this later, drop your questions, drop your comments, because I can answer those and we can really go deep on this subject. Because this divine masculine, divine feminine, the balance of the two, I keep saying divine, but we're just gonna say masculine and feminine. It's a balance of the two, and the importance of this is like burnout, right? Burnout is masculine, like stuck in your masculine, can't get out of the masculine, can't move into your feminine because of self-worth issues, or, and honestly, I hate that word issues, because I mean, issues can always be resolved, but issues, that word, gross. So just, we move back and forth in between these. And a lot of times our go, go, go attitude in society is completely masculine. And we are stuck in that because that's how we think that we can succeed in life. And so the goal of life, if you want to have that desired life that you desire, right? That you want to create exactly what you want to create, then being in your feminine is where you find that creative energy. So first, let me just explain a little bit of like what masculine and what feminine is. And I think I've done a video on this before, but I'll just go into it again. So the masculine, right? They want to be emptied, okay? Masculine make things smaller. Feminine make things bigger, right? Feminine want to fill themselves up. And that's why, you know, people with a core essence of feminine are always looking for things to fill them up, right? A lot of feminine, if you have a very feminine person in your life, if you look at their home, they have a lot of stuff in their home. They have a lot of things and trinkets everywhere, and like prizes and possessions, and a lot of beauty, right, to look at, right? So if you have somebody that's very masculine, if you've ever been to somebody that's like super masculine, if you've ever been into their home, they don't have anything in their house. Like they hardly have anything on their walls. They like don't really keep a lot of stuff. It's just kind of like clean and cut. And so that's kind of that other end of the spectrum. So you can imagine like a hoarder, but not really. Just like things all over the walls and then nothing on the walls, right? That can kind of be that contrast between masculine and feminine. Masculine is the action, right? So masculine is when we're planning, right? Writing lists down, planning things out. The how is masculine. And that's like a key concept here, is the how is masculine, y'all. So if you're constantly in your head overthinking, very masculine, thinking is a masculine act, and you're always asking yourself, how can I do this? How can I create that? How do I get this thing that I really want? How do I stop doing this? How, right? Then you're not giving yourself enough time to sit in your feminine, right? So we get stuck in that masculine, and then we get stressed the fuck out. So So the masculine is just that go, go, go attitude. That's where burnout happens, right, y'all? That's where this is like the society is very masculine, and what we're moving towards is more of that divine feminine in society now. There's a ton of people because we're looking more into the heart, right? We're looking more into our feelings, into our emotions, and we're looking more into sitting and tuning inward instead of tuning outward, right? Outward, that's very masculine. Inward is very feminine. So on that other end of the spectrum, the feminine, excuse me, on the other end of that spectrum, the feminine is relaxing, is literally doing nothing, like nothing at all. Like don't do anything, just sit. Don't think, don't move your body. Just like yin yoga, very feminine. Yin yoga is very feminine because you're tuning in and you're moving into, right? You're filling yourself up and you're moving into yourself, into that pain, right? Trying to sit in it, not move, not do anything about it, right? Not ask yourself how to fix the pain. You just sit inside of it. And what happens, right? We're moving into this more divine feminine as a society. Ooh, hi peeps. What's up? What's up? If you guys, we're talking about masculine and feminine today. So if you have any questions about the masculine and the feminine, drop them below and I will answer them. So we're talking about the feminine right now. The feminine likes to be filled up. The feminine likes to be, to sit, to do nothing, because it's where we create, right? The womb space. That is where we find this creative energy so that we can do the things that we want to do. And then the masculine can come in with all of that creative energy and create the how for you, right? Because that actual act of creating, right? The writing down of the desires, like knowing what we want, very, very masculine. And so what we see a lot is, what I see a lot is that people want a desire and then they immediately start asking themselves how they're going to get it. Like this desire just pops into their head. It's kind of like an aha moment or a download, some people would call it. Pops into your head. And then you're immediately like, okay, how can I make this happen? Joan says, I used to babysit for a couple who instead of putting their kids in timeout, they put them in time in. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a beautiful reframe. It's so beautiful. Side note, there's this amazing family that instead of asking their kids, what do you want to be when you grow up? They ask them, who do you want to be right now? Isn't that so beautiful? Like that reframe allows you to, in every single moment, because in the present moment is all that matters, right? And so every single moment, who do you want to be in this moment? And then you can kind of like look at like, oh, well, I want to be like a warrior, or I want to be a magician right now, or I want to be Steve Jobs right now, you know, like if the little kid actually knows who Steve Jobs is. But still, like embodying the actions, embodying the essence of that thing, right? Instead of being like in the future, excuse me, I want to be an astronaut, and then being like, oh, okay, I'm going to like go to school and do all these things. It's like, no, but who is an astronaut? How are they being to get to that point? You need to be that person. And so it's a beautiful reframe because again, it turns inward. Okay, how can I change my actions, my beliefs, my perceptions of the world so that I can be more like this person that I want, that I'm striving to be like? Yeah, Joan, so good. So, yeah, back to what I was saying about the feminine. So creative energy. I have a tickle in my throat. Okay, so creative energy. The feminine creates from her womb, creates all of that energy as we're doing nothing. It is a point where we receive, right? Masculine is giving. Feminine is receiving. And there's so many people that have such a big problem with receiving. Receiving love, receiving gifts, receiving compliments. I used to be one of them. Not even funny. You could tell me I'm beautiful and my face would get all red and I'd be like, huh, and walk away from you. To the point where one person finally said, oh, she hates being told that she's beautiful. And it's from a perception, right, that I've created from the past where I got the attention that I did not want. So now when people, not even now, just before, when people would tell me I was pretty, I had that perception of like, I don't want this attention. Like, what are they gonna like want from me? And then people pleasing and all this stuff, right? So breaking through that allowed me to be like, hell yeah, I'm beautiful. But this receiving action of feminine is you receiving the energy that you need in order to go out and do the things that you need to do, right? And so the problem that we see is that people are in their masculine too much. And so they're sitting in their masculine, they have this amazing idea because they just did something so fun, right? And doing things fun, right? Dopamine sprints is what my coach calls them. Doing fun things that you love allows your serotonin, your dopamine to raise, right? So that you have that, so that you are happy. And then you can go do the things and create the things from that energy, right? And so with this masculine, we just go all the time. And then we burn ourselves out. And then we're like hating ourselves, miserable, stressed out all the time. Because we will not give ourselves the permission to receive, to move back into your feminine. And I cannot stress this enough. That's like one of the most important parts about it is like, slow down. Like, I know you love to work because money is huge for you. And also you have a perception that money is only available to you if you work as hard as you can. But you can change that. And you can see that from that new point of view, that new vision of your life being, I can do the things that I love to do. I can relax. I can get enough sleep. And I can still love my life and make that money that I need to, or have that desire, whatever it is. So reframing that and allowing yourself to move into your feminine, I promise you, like, the more and more y'all do what you love to do, the more you do that, the more you give yourself permission for that. It's like, oh, I have laundry, but I really want to go on a hike. Go on the hike. Your laundry is still going to be there when you get back. It's not going to change. Go on the walk and then do the laundry after so that you can get super happy while you're doing the laundry. Don't do it the other way around. Don't do the thing you don't want to do. Right? Get super happy and then go do the laundry. And you're going to be like, oh my God, I'm so happy I have all these clean clothes, right? It's a action that you have to take to accept and receive being in that feminine, accept and receive loving your life, accept and receive doing things that make you happy, because that is what is going to give you that creative energy so that you know the how. So that's what I'm saying, y'all. You don't know the how. Like, you can't just sit here. Okay, so you can't just sit here and like think about all the things that you want from the same consciousness that you found the problem. I hope you're feeling me. Like, let me know if you understand this or if you have any questions about what I'm saying right now, because this is a really high level. But we can't figure out the problem from the same level of consciousness that we created the problem at. So we see the problem, right? And the problem could be a desire, because it's not the desire is a problem, but the how to get it is the problem, right? And so then we sit there and we're like, how? Okay, well, I see all these things around me. They're all in front of me. I could do this. I could do that. I could do that. And you're like, no, none of those really work. Or you may not even be able to think of anything in that moment, right? Because you're thinking about things that you already know. The point of moving into your feminine, y'all, is to download, is to receive the answers that are not in your own consciousness, okay? Again, high level, y'all. Like, think about consciousness. Like, if you could access higher levels of consciousness from other beings, right? You can think about that as like telepathy or reading minds or something like that. It is a tapping into the consciousness of the whole so that you find the answer that isn't within you, right? You don't know, but it's an aha moment and it's an idea. You have no idea where it comes from, but because you moved back into your feminine, you were open to receive it. And then it was served to you. from the masculine. And then the minute you have that idea, you go back into your masculine and you start to do the thing, right? You don't wait. You don't sit there and overthink it, right? You don't say, okay, I have this great idea. All right, well, I don't have all the pieces yet, so I need to sit down and think about this. It's like, no. And that's the other thing. That's the other point that I want to get across, is that we don't get all the pieces at the same time, right? So relax, sit back. It's all coming to you. Like, if you truly believe that, it's all coming to you, and you can sit back and relax and enjoy yourself. And one day while you're like watching your favorite Netflix show or something, it sparks an idea. And then you go take that idea and you write it down, you add it. So now you have the name, right? I'm creating a program right now, so I'm just gonna use this. Now you have the name of your program, you have how much it's gonna cost, you have how many people, you know exactly who you want in there, right? And then you know exactly what all the modules are. Haha, yes, Jordan, so perfect. Yeah, don't have to work hard, love. Only if you believe it. Jordan said, stressed out at work and hopped on just as you said, beliefs about you have to work hard to get money. Yeah, such a, not a bad belief, but just like a societal belief that we just have that go, go, go attitude. It's like, go take a nap. Even if it's like 10 minutes, y'all, like, go calm down. Like, when we have that high energy where we're like, I gotta do this right now. No, just stop, like right there. Like, you are too high on that masculine, like way too high. You need to go move into that feminine and just receive and relax and come back to yourself, and then go do that thing, right? No matter like if you have to do it in the next 30 minutes. If you're like this, like, stop what you're doing. Step back, take 10 deep breaths, and then move back into it, because you're going to have a much clearer head. It's like when you're mad or when you're happy, you're going to say things differently. You're going to do things differently. So it's the same exact concept here. So the masculine, you're in your feminine, and then you get one piece and you're like, yes. And like, you celebrate it. You're like, yes, I received it. You write it down, whatever. And then you go back into your feminine, you're enjoying your life, and you're like, oh my God, this is how much I'm going to charge for it. This is what we're going to do. These are all the modules. This is exactly what I'm going to teach. And then you just, yes, beautiful. And then you just wait. You just sit in it, because you know, y'all, you know that all of these things are coming to you. And so you sit in that feminine, and the masculine brings the how to you. And then whenever you're ready, you do it. You don't overthink it. I see this all the time. This is another issue that I see all the time, is that we sit and we overthink everything. We're like, hey, I want to start a podcast. And then they're like, oh, but how do I do that? Oh, but, right? Did you hear the how? Oh, but what do I even talk about? Oh, when do I do it? Do I need this? Do I need that? It's like, just stop. Just stop right there. You're asking too many questions already. You said you wanted to do a podcast. Just go do it. Start taking the actions. No overthinking. And then when you've hit your end mark, right? You're like, okay, well, I'm not really sure what else to do here. Let me go back into my feminine. I'm going to go back into my feminine. I'm going to go enjoy my life. I'm going to have so much fun. And then I'm going to move into this joyous state where I can receive all of the downloads. And then I'm going to have a download. I'm going to have an idea. It's going to spark in the shower, wherever, right? And then you're going to move back into your masculine, and you're going to take action with that brand new idea, right? Joan said, I've felt and heard friends express the reason they sacrifice the desire for the chore or mundane errand is because when they do choose the hike over the responsibility, they can't enjoy it because the task's looming in their minds. Thoughts, anecdotes. Yeah, I mean, that's overthinking, Joan. Like, yeah, that's absolutely overthinking. And that is just that's that attachment that we have to our masculine. That's an attachment that we believe that we are not good enough if we don't do these chores, right? If you are just overthinking and so attached to the fact that this task didn't get done, even though you can do it later, who's judging that? You are. You're judging yourself in that moment. And so how can you reframe that? How can you tell yourself, I deserve this walk right now? Even though maybe it's like a 15-minute walk outside, right? Maybe it's you not doing your laundry for 4 days. Who cares, y'all? You will get it done. That's the thing. It's like, I think we let ourselves get really stressed out because we have so much meaning and so much this perception of how important these things are built up around the experience of it, right? And so when we don't do that, we feel less than, because we're, I don't know if this is men or women, but I mean, you have a societal norm that women take care of the house and they should clean, and like everything should be super clean and your clothes should be done and hung up, and like all these things should be perfect. I'm sorry, if nobody's coming over, my house isn't spotless ever. Like, if it is, it's because I'm like, ooh, I'm in the mood to clean right now and I want everything to like be in its perfect place and I love doing this, and I'm like, look how cute my house is, right? But I'm not gonna sit there and stress out myself because these things are getting done. The minute that I'm like, I kind of want to clean my house, that's the minute that a lot of people, I feel, get really, really stressed out. They get super stressed out because their house isn't clean and they want it clean right now. And it's like, okay, again, slow down, step back, take 10 deep breaths, and then go do the task and love it. Because I totally get that, Joan, but it's all overthinking. It's all this attachment to what you're creating. It's all this attachment to the meaning that you're creating around the experience. And most of the time it's that you're not good enough, or I'm lazy, or whatever. It's like if you're hiking outside instead of doing the thing, they're like, oh, I'm so lazy, right? Or just whatever you're telling yourself. So it's a lot of just judging yourself and being really hard and having super high expectations. Lower your expectations, y'all. It's really easy to do that. Like, for example, I feel successful anytime I go on live, right? Anytime I go on live, anytime I post on Facebook, anytime I take a shower, anytime, right? So I'm creating all of these things that anytime I do any of one of them, I feel successful, right? Versus what a lot of people do is, I am successful. This is my definition of success, like reading books every single day, doing my laundry, cleaning the kitchen, creating content, blah, 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 all these things, all this list. And you're like, I have to do all this list before I can feel successful. I have to do that entire thing, right? And so your expectations are so high. Instead, they could be really, 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 really low. Because any time, practice letting go is what is ringing within me as you speak. Love, yes. Listen to that. That's a great lesson. Like, just let it go. Because when we create those smaller expectations for ourselves, then we can create those small expectations for others, and then nobody can inconvenience us anymore, y'all. Like, because you feel loved anytime somebody looks in your eyes. You're like, wow, I feel so loved, right? Instead of, I need all these things to feel loved. It's like, no, you really don't. You've just created that for yourself. So what are these high expectations that you are putting on yourself? What are these high expectations that, because you're putting them on yourself, you're putting them on other people? And sometimes that's hard to meet up with, you know what I'm saying, y'all? And then we have a lot of turmoil in our relationships because we're not giving anybody grace. We're not giving anybody room to grow and breathe and do the things that they need to do and make mistakes, because everyone makes mistakes. But because we're so hard on ourselves, or you're so hard on yourself, I'm not really hard on myself at all. Because you're so hard on yourself that you are hard on other people. And that does not give anybody joy. It doesn't. It really doesn't. So masculine and feminine. Moral of this entire live, y'all. Hi, Jordan. Moral of this entire live, y'all, is that you do the things that you want to do in your masculine. You write the things down. You have the amazing ideas, right? The masculine is bringing the how to the feminine. But if you do not sit in your feminine, if you do not sit in that moment of receiving, then you don't create any space for yourself to receive, and then you feel stuck. And I put stuck because what even is that? You're never stuck. Life is moving, changing, evolving, just as your cells are in every single moment. You're never stuck. That's a perception, because you cannot let go. There it is, Joan. Letting go, receiving, sitting back, just being. I have 2 suggestions. 1, that dopamine sprint. My mentor taught me this, and it is epic, y'all, because you cannot create anything if you do not have dopamine and serotonin, if you do not have that happiness drug, right? That happiness neurotransmitter. So a sprint can be however long, really, 1 to 3 days of you doing absolutely nothing except for what you want to do. Don't hold in the farts. Ha, Joan. Let it go. Let it go, girl. And it can be very, very hard for people to do this, but how many times in your life have you noticed that when you do the things that you love and you feel super happy, everything is just going perfectly, right? It's the truth. So that dopamine sprint is super important. My second suggestion is meditating all day for 1 to 2 days. I feel like 1's enough, really. But if you want to go, if you have trouble meditating, 2 may be what you need. It's like a Vipassana, right, y'all? You sit for 10 days and you never talk and you only meditate. And you let the pain move through you. You separate yourself from it. You start to raise into these higher levels of consciousness instead of be in your body. But that, again, is just a suggestion. And I would suggest learning more about these things, because they can really, really open up the world for you so that you can have the things that you want, because you can let go and sit back and know that they're there for you. You're not strong-arming it. You're like, this is mine. I'm going to have it. And then you're always just staring at it, right? Did you see my crazy face? I mean, that's how we feel sometimes, right? When we're trying to make something happen and it's not happening, let go immediately. When you're feeling that, let go, stop, step back, get on the ground, just breathe. Don't move. Just be there. Just be, y'all. So important. Just be. And that's why it's so beautiful that people are like, as I get older, I want more alone time. Yeah, because you recognize the benefit of being, of sitting still, of listening. You start to find all the answers. It's the same thing as being in nature and just having that clear head. Nothing's in there. And then all of a sudden, boop, the masculine brings this how to you. It's a really beautiful practice, y'all. And I teach this in Expansive Academy. It is a total rewire for longevity. I love that. For longevity of your mind, of your life, so that you don't look back and you're like, how long have I been unhappy? Right? You just start doing the things right now because you have the capability to do that. You just have to let go of your attachment to what you think life should be like and open up to what it can be for you, which is anything that you want it to be. Life can be completely different, but you have to be able to let go of everything that you have right now so that you can bring in the things that you truly want. So start saying no to everything that you do not want to do. Don't make any more sacrifices to please others, because that is only stripping you of your happiness. And sacrifices are beautiful when they are wanted, right? Because then they're not really a sacrifice. You're willing to give in that moment, and it brings you so much joy to give. But if you're feeling like you have to sacrifice, that's the moment where you are letting someone else control your state. And your state, that's so funny, Mary. You asked me about meta states, not masculine, feminine. We'll talk about that next week, girl. But that state is your state of being, your thoughts, your actions, your beliefs, your perceptions of life. And so if you are not controlling your state, somebody else is controlling that for you, which is how we can feel inconvenience, we can lash out, we can get sick. Because somebody else is always stressing you out. But really, it's just you stressing yourself out. No. No. Nyla. Sorry, y'all. No. Lay down. All right. Well, that's the doorbell. So, hi, Mary. So yeah, y'all. So this is Expansive Academy. Everything that I'm talking about here, we're going to talk about it in Expansive Academy. And it is she's so distracting. She's like growling. It is a program that I've created to expand your mind, to expand your heart, to expand your physical, energetic being, so that you realize how much more space you have to take up, so that you can have longevity in your life for happiness, for love, for everything. So if you are interested in learning anything about shadow work so that you can break down your walls and start to have the things that you want, if you are ready to stop having anxiety, y'all, anxiety and depression, this is a trigger maybe for some people. This is an identity that you are identifying with. You are not depressed. You are not anxious, right? You are just feeling anxious in this moment, right? It's just moment to moment. You are not a depressed person. You are not an anxious person. This is not your identity. You are just identifying with it. And so we learn how to separate ourselves from that, from whatever it is that you're holding on to, and become more psychic, right? And not psychic in a way of telepathy. I don't know how to teach you that, but I do know people that know how to teach that. So if you're interested, let me know. But with Expansive Academy, this is how you level up. And we're doing it in a group setting. So it's going to be even more amazing than one-on-one, because you learn so much more from sharing your experiences with others. And that is one of my favorite things about creating this program. So if you're interested, message me and let's get on a call and we'll talk about it and we'll see if it's a good fit for you. This is for people who own a business or want to take hold of their lives, who feel burnt out and anxious all the time and don't want to feel that way anymore, want to figure out how to bring themselves back to their balance, back to equilibrium, and really believe that they can be there forever, because this is a lifelong practice and I have all the tools for you. All right, thank you so much. If you guys have any more questions, let me know. You can drop them in this live. I will answer them. Oh my gosh. Yeah, okay, I've been answering them. I'm like, 14 comments. No, I've been seeing them. Okay, I love you so much. Mwah. Mary, again, sorry I didn't talk about metastates, but I will talk about them next week. Okay, bye.